Hi, and welcome to this presentation on social emotional characteristics of learners with disabilities. To begin this, you were asked to watch the video by Rick Lavoie, Last One Picked, First One Picked On. I hope this video was both informative and inspiring to you to support students with learning disabilities and other disabilities as they try to navigate the social world. I'm not going to go into any detail on the video. You have these questions to answer, and hopefully you've already answered these and submitted them. And I hope you enjoyed that video. I get good feedback from its contents. Okay, now children who have social deficits generally manifest the following behaviors. They are not doing well on independent activities. Assigning them homework is a difficult task for them, much more difficult than it would be for a person who has a more developmentally ready executive functioning, an ability to plan and self-monitor. These students might not have great ability to judge moods and attitudes of others. Some people might call that mind blindness, or not being able to understand the emotions and the intentions of others. So then they seem insensitive to the general mood or attitude of a social setting because they're not reading those cues and judging the moods of others very well. And so it then might appear they are continually doing and saying inappropriate things. It might be noticeable that a person with a learning disability might seem to tell lies. I've seen this as a teacher. We have to consider these social skill deficits, and that they may be just misinterpreting what's going on in the environment, and either coping with not understanding by making up answers or scenarios, or they may have just misinterpreted something and believe what they're saying is true, but they did not process a situation accurately. So we need to help the student and support the student if it seems like they're misunderstanding in social situations. So what contributes to individuals' social skill deficits? Cognitive traits. Obviously, social skill deficits are more common among individuals with certain language processing deficits or measurable cognitive limitations. So both learning disabilities, ADHD, or intellectual disabilities. The language processing and the cognitive factors will play into social skill ability. And then, of course, the severity of the disability. Social skill deficiencies are more prevalent among individuals with more severe and complex learning disorders. Females are more likely to experience social adjustment problems than their male counterparts. And hyperactivity, individuals with ineffective impulse control tend to have more pronounced social skill problems, both in not being inhibited, not judging social cues, and not controlling impulses to be able to wait the turn, participate appropriately, and finish games and etc. that have been started. So one way that Rick Lavoie suggests we address social mishaps is with a social autopsy. It's an innovative strategy wherein an adult helps a socially deficient child to improve social skills by jointly analyzing social areas that make the child having difficulties, and then design alternative strategies. So this is an example of what would be on a social autopsy worksheet. Now here's an example of a completed autopsy. So what happened? I yelled at the teacher because she asked me to correct grammar mistakes in the paragraph I turned in for homework. So then the student would also then consider, well, what was the error there? or who might have been hurt by the social error? Well, yelling at the teacher would be hurt. What should be done to correct the error? I could apologize, explain to the teacher, I worked very hard on the homework, I'm not good at grammar, and it frustrates me when I don't do it well. So what would you do next time? Well, I can take 3 deep breaths when the teacher first asks me to redo an assignment. I can ask if I can get help from someone to correct the mistakes. So a one-time cure for the target behavior or skill might be how this looks. Several autopsies on the same behavior may be needed to ensure mastery. And not only that, you would also want to focus on social autopsies for successful social events so that the student can see and feel successes and know and identify what it is that they did to be more successful. So we have a list here of what is the social autopsy process. It is a structure that is constructive strategy to foster social competence. It's done in the environment between the teacher and the student to problem solve and actively participate in the process. And it should be done immediately. But don't do it as a punitive measure in a negative way. The student has the primary control over the guidance of the adult to determine correct answers. And it's not a one-time cure. Like I said, number of times trying and also identifying and completing the autopsy for successes. And that's our description. And lastly, if social autopsies are going to be successful, it has to be linked to practice, getting that immediate feedback, and positively reinforcing both participation and follow through. Now, what can you do as a teacher? You're going to be that talent scout. You are going to look for the strengths in the student and help the student realize those are the positive things he does. He should do more. You want to assign the child to a leadership position in the classroom, give the child some opportunities to shine and to be seen in a positive light by peers, because so often when we have students having social skill deficits, it becomes a vicious cycle of losing opportunity to practice social skills based on isolation. We want to demonstrate acceptance of that child so that other students will model your behavior, and we want to make him aware of the traits that would help him get positive interactions from peers. So we call that being habilitative. So we want to make him aware of things that people like, such as smiles and laughs, greeting others, having a conversation, giving invitations to people, sharing, and giving compliments. Okay, I thank you for your time and attention on this presentation. I hope that you have learned about the characteristics of students with social skill deficits and how you as a teacher or community member can help support them in turning it around. Thanks. Bye-bye.